Alright, in this tutorial I will be making a crest. These letters I traced out onto paper, and then traced onto my styrofoam, and then cut them out using a jigsaw. The font is called Ravenscroft, and you'll see at the end of the tutorial the website where you can download this font. Also, if you want the template for the top portion where the face and teeth are, I'll give you information at the end of this tutorial of where you can get it if you're looking to make one of these. Alright, I'm still gluing on my letters. I'm using my FRP adhesive, which is what I've used in my other tutorials. Just applying it to the back of the letters and then adhering them to the surface and applying really even pressure so that I get a good seal and stick. The next step in the process is to texture the surface. So I'm using my blowtorch to add different texture all over the whole surface here. I'm also spraying it with my water bottle and then hitting it with my blowtorch to vary the texture a little bit. The next step is to base the entire thing in black. I'm using a very small brush to get into all of the little crevices and cracks that are here. There's a lot of them, and having a small brush helps, but the entire thing has to be solid black before we can move on. Okay, I've based it out in black and let it dry completely. I'm now going to dry brush, and I'm using Folk Art brand Antique Copper. It's kind of shiny, it looks really good. And I'll also be using Folk Art Solid Bronze. So I'm using two colors to give it some depth and some interesting looks. I'm going to be dry brushing the surface. First with my dark color, which is the Antique Copper. And I'm working with a very dry brush here, just very little paint on it. And I'm going over all of the highest surfaces, so the letters and the teeth, that kind of stuff. Now I've switched to a large soft brush, and I am dry brushing over the deeper surface. This brush is very, very dry. I'm kind of trying to just blend in all of the paint and color together with this larger brush. Now I've switched to my lighter color, which is the solid bronze, and I'm dry brushing over the highest parts of the piece, so the surfaces of the letters and all of the teeth and the facial features at the top. I'm going over with a lighter color. It just gives it some dimension and helps those parts stand out a little bit more. Next, I'm going to patina the surface. I'm using plain white acrylic, mixing that with some Apple Barrel Bimini Blue and a little bit of Apple Barrel Neon Green. And I'm mixing those together and then adding some water to make like a wash. And I'm going to do that across the whole surface of the crest. The ratio I'm using is probably equal parts white and blue, with just a couple of drops of the green. You'll have to play around with it to find a color that you really like. But the more water you add, the more translucent it is. And I'm just going over the whole surface with this. Alright, so my first layer of patina has dried, and now I'm going over with a thicker version of the same color. I've added a little bit more of each paint color and mixed it up. And that's going to give me a more opaque blue patina color. Things tend to patina in the corners, so I'm making sure that I get those. And I'm just going over the whole surface and weathering it. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna let it dry when I'm finished. This is the finished product. If you want the template for the face at the top and the teeth at the bottom, send me a message on Facebook. It's Kstudios on Facebook. And give me your email address and I'll email you a template so you can make your own crest. And coming up, you'll see a list of supplies that I use to do this project. And thanks for watching.